I'll start again. Sorry, having double screen, that doesn't really help. I'll manage this. Sorry for the inconvenience. So,
Julia, you're on mute again.
what about now?
We can hear you.
Okay.
Now we can hear.
Okay, so you didn't hear anything about the training sessions? Okay. Okay, let me try again. So sorry for that. I was just introducing the training session, the trainers work packages, which are considered to be one of the biggest capacity building moment within the project, facilitating the participants to co-organize and also stakeholders to co-organize the human libraries in the most efficient and high quality, consistent way. The Train the Trainer sessions are 3 different moments in the project, starting from next month, let's say. We will start developing the content and the methodology among the partners. And we will share methods and principles in order to develop and empower the approaches, roles, formats, and different steps that will allow the implementation in the local context of the human libraries. At the same time, the Train the Trainer session will strengthen the dialogue among participants. We would like to include in the training sessions active listening skills, sharing active listening skills and inclusion skills in order to allow the human library to be developed and co-organized, taking into consideration that we might deal with sensitive, challenging, and emotionally charged situations. The Train the Trainer sessions also will help build the ability to document and to evaluate in a consistent and structured way the outcomes, translating learning into good practices and recommendations, because the main objective of the project is that of empowering local strategies, citizens, stakeholders, public administrations, and services against discrimination and discriminational issues. What we expect from the Train the Trainer sessions is that participant and facilitator can implement with confidence and replicate the organization of human libraries, not only in the municipalities and the contexts that are partners in this project, but also all over Europe. This is the roadmap of our training session. So we will start in January co-programming the methodologies, and then we will develop in February and in March the 3 training sessions. We will show the dates later on. The human libraries are the core objective and activities of this project. These are all public events where citizens can candidate to be living books and share their personal stories. That is why the training sessions are substantially necessary to organize these events. The topics are very sensitive, and they will deal with gender equality, migration, and active citizenship, as well as European values. So we will keep in touch, and we will interview potential living books, considering their sensitive and important stories. And we will take into consideration the most intersectional approach within the organization of these events. The participants will become, therefore, readers of these books, living books. The methodologies is quite similar of that of people going to a library, choosing the book and starting reading the pages. So in that case, people can ask questions and active listening to the answers. The meetings, of course, are facilitated by the presence of qualified and experienced staff, acting as facilitator, but as tutor of the people that will be acting as a living book. The human libraries will be, of course, organized in partnership with the municipalities that have delivered the letter of support and the formal support to the project. So they will take place in public spaces in cooperation and collaboration with the municipalities. We have more or less 20 months, 20 packages, 18 main packages sharing the human libraries events throughout the project. And all of the partners, which will introduce themselves in a few, will host all the three main topics: gender equality, migrant inclusion, and active citizens within their own countries and municipalities.
So at the end of the project, as I said before, we will deliver and have online events with all stakeholders, but possibly focusing on the municipality each of the partners have involved. Ideally, through the form of the online lab, we want to bring together all project partners and the insights they gather throughout the project to representative of the local administration and each community of the city is involved. The aim is to discuss the interim results of the first wave of the human library, so the first, let's say, 15, 16 months, with particular attention to the topics of gender equality and inclusion of migrants. We will try, obviously, through the form of video conferences so that we can reach as many people as possible to present the local results of each partner and discuss in thematic and small subgroup the challenges or possible common traits that we gather through the human libraries. The idea and the aim is to create the first set of local recommendation or possible action that then will be discussed and be bridged to the second policy lab that will be online, held online. The second policy lab, we are getting it. Again, is going to be online, and from the draft that we are going to prepare for the first set of policy recommendation, we will try then to create a proposal of guidelines and also replicable materials that then can be used again to replicate in each local context or other ones the human library format. The idea is that this format of the human library, as Julia said before, is going to can be used actually constantly throughout the territory to promote and bridge intercultural dialogue. Possibly the set of recommendations will be then useful for the cities, but in general at the European level, because we are expecting to actually see results in the development of an empathic dialogue and a more inclusive communities. Okay, so this is the roadmap of the first, actually, the policy lab, number 1 and number 2, and in the end, the final conference. We will have, hopefully, but we will try to stick to actually the timeline in September, October 2026, the first policy lab that will be held by Yunus Foundation Italy. We will focus on gender equality and inclusion of migrants based on the 2 human library events we will hold in Bologna. And based on that, we will produce the first set of local recommendations. Following that, in this case, the VP leader is going to be Impact Hub Lepaya. We will have the second policy lab in January, March 2026. I'm sorry, there is, 2027. We will start from the policy lab number 1 and its draft, and then we will finalize the recommendations that are going to be then published. The final conference, it will be held online, obviously, again, with the idea of reaching as many participants as possible, but then it's going to be hybrid because each of the partner will host the online conference in their own headquarters. The idea is to bring all together the participants, citizens, the stakeholders, and all partners all together. The consortium, that then each one of the partner will be presenting themselves so that they can, okay, sorry. Each of the partner then will be presenting themselves. We will starting from the Yunus Foundation Italy, and then I will give the word to each one of the partners so that they can better present themselves and getting into details of their work and also expectation and roles within the project. So the Yunus Foundation Italy, as you can guess from the name, is founded by Professor Mohammed Yunus, and we are inspired by his thinking. In our local and territorial, let's say, implementation model, we promote financial and entrepreneurship education through financial education, incubation for new ideas, and possibly social business, which is our main expertise along microcredit. We use them as a leverage actually to help people to get beyond the poverty line and capacitate themselves in a socioeconomic way. We do a lot of European projects, we write them, and we manage and implement them along with our partners. Briefly, our story. We were born in 2010 as Grameen Foundation Italy, thanks to the joint venture of the University of Bologna, UniCredit Foundation, and the Grameen Trust in Bangladesh. The initiative was strongly promoted by actually the university and UniCredit Foundation, with actually the blessing and the strong support of the Grameen Trust. In 2018, we got the accreditation to the European Microfinance Network. That's the reason why we are often advisory partner, or we support within project working with microcredit and microfinance. Then in 2023, we rebranded ourselves as a Yunus Foundation Italy, following the change also of the thinking and evolution actually of the thinking of Professor Mohammed Yunus, moving in trying to promote the insight on the 3 zeros. And we will see with the spoiler in the next slide what we are talking about. The social business is what we do today in terms of consultancy, support to small, medium enterprises and public administration, because we strongly believe that social business is a format to promote actually equality, but also to help the majority of people trying to have profit in the system when we are right now, and also global ethics. What are the 3 zeros? Perhaps most of you know them. We're talking about zero poverty, zero unemployment, and zero emissions. So the idea is to use, again, social business and this thinking to try to minimize the number of people living on less than $1 a day. So we are trying to promote the zero poverty, zero unemployment, so promote actually the self-entrepreneurship or actually getting a normal job for people that actually are in vulnerable situations. Zero emissions is we are trying to, again, reducing pollution and emission of CO2 through social business again, or support for small medium enterprises in a life cycle assessment or project as such. Obviously, in order to work on the 3.0, we must have an holistic approach. That is what we are trying to implement on a day-to-day basis. Through our years, we created a very strong ecosystem, as I said, with university, public institution, business stakeholders, and third sector entities working on main 5 strategic areas that we have listed in terms of importance. So we have a social inclusion and microcredit, financial education and self-entrepreneurship, research, strategic consultancy and advocacy, education project for youth, and ecological transition and sustainable innovation. Very, very briefly, we believe in tailoring our project to maximize the effect on our beneficiaries. So I'm not going to go very deep into each one of them, but we created different formats based on the beneficiaries. So in case of NEET or students, we work with 3.0 clubs or UNIS labs. They're going to work on sustainability, project design and thinking to promote responses to social challenges. We work with people with, let's say, vulnerabilities in terms of violence, gender violence, economic violence, disabilities, or migrant people, irrespectively as direct beneficiaries and indirect beneficiaries, working with empowering financial education and economic pathways. They are going to be obviously declined differently. The aim in this case is to promote the socioeconomic capacitation and participation in society. These are the main partners and stakeholders and our major donors of the last 2 years. So we are working with third sector entities, regional and national stakeholders, mainly of our regions, but also on an Italian level. And the donors actually are, as you can see, European, but also pretty much local. This is our staff. The staff there is going to work on the project, and that is going to, be a constant part accompanying each of us in this enterprise. Okay, the UNO's role in the project, and I'm almost done, is going to be as the lead partner of the project, the coordination and the governance. So we're going to manage the overall consortium, ensuring the strategic and operational coherence with our objective and the project. We are going to obviously take care of the management and the compliance of the financial and legal management, following actually also the quality assurance of the standard, doing a constant reporting, monitoring and evaluation within the impact framework we decided at the previous meetings that you weren't part of. And we are going to create, with the help of the partner, the digital platform and tools that are going to be the legacy of our project. We will support and be actually a major drive in the capacity building and training and the stakeholder engagement and policy dialogue with the general public. Obviously, that is what we're aiming to reach as maximum, and also the multi-stakeholder approach involving the municipality or the third sector entities or people working with fragile segments of the population. I will now leave the word to Nassim, okay, of Impact Hub Istria. We are going to have our partners in a row presenting themselves, their work, and what they do. So thank you for sticking with us until now. Nassim, the floor is yours.
Hello. Thank you, Benedetta. Thank you, Benedetta. Hello to everyone, also from our side, Impact Hub Istria. I'm not alone here. Also alongside, I have my colleague Nina, who's also on this call today. So really briefly about Impact Hub Istria, we're obviously very happy to be part of this project. We are very locally based, even though we are part of a very big network, which is the Impact Hub network.
Nassim,
which is a global...
I'm sorry, we are having issues with your microphone. We cannot hear you. I see you talking, but we cannot hear you.
Okay.
We hear them
Sorry
fine.
for these delays and
Benedetta.
hiccups. Unfortunately, sometimes in online meetings are normal.
We can hear him, Benedetta.
We can hear him, Benedetta, all of us.
Okay, perfect then. So in the meantime, they will figure it out. Just to keep the presentation brief. So as I said, we're part of a very large Impact Hub network, which is a global network of spaces and where we try to help people develop their own ideas. So we also work as an incubator, but also as a co-working space. We try to get communities together. So to us, it's really important to be part of projects like this one, since we are very connected. So yeah, you can go to the next slide, please. Perfect. So to better understand where we're located, we are part of Impact Hub Slovenia, which currently has 2 locations. One which is Impact Hub Ljubljana, which is in our capital Ljubljana. The next one is on the coast, really close to the Italian and Croatian border, which brings different, kind of local reality to our space. So we are very multicultural. And also historically speaking, to us, this is very important to get all these realities together. Next. So yes, as I said before, today we're here. I have my colleague alongside, who is Nina Baučar-Čargo. She's our programs lead, and I'm the director of Impact Hub Istria. Our programs, which is one of the most important parts of what we do. We're also part of the Social Impact Award network, and we organize Social Impact Award, which is, just to keep it short, it's an incubation program for young people up to the age of 30, where people can develop their own social and impact ventures. And then we also have our own brand, which is Impact Launchpad, which just started last week. And we also try to help other people also who are not over 30 to develop their own ideas. Next slide. So an important part of what we do is obviously spaces. So when we talk about spaces, we talk about co-working. So we have now 1 location in Koper, but we are already looking into different locations and expanding, since there is a huge demand and need for spaces like ours. So more people can get involved and more people can work and be inspired in a space like Impact Hub Istria. So, and we also have a real, very large support from all local stakeholders, such as the University of Primorska, the municipality, obviously, of Koper, but also other incubators, accelerators, and different schools and universities in the area. Next. Yes. Thank you very much to everyone.
Mary, movement on the
Yes.
ground, please.
Yes. Good morning, Kalimera to everyone. Thank you, Giulia. Thank you, Benedetta. Thank you, Nassim. My name is Maria Giulia Cardini, and I'm the designated project manager for COTAF on behalf of Movement on the Ground, alongside with my colleagues Mary, Angelina, and Dana. Movement on the Ground is an international humanitarian organization active in the Middle East and Greece since 2015, working alongside people affected by humanitarian crisis. We apply a community-led approach to humanitarian aid embodied in our organizational philosophy called From Camp to Campus, where we create environments where people can empower themselves, meet their basic needs, access training and employment opportunities, and rebuild a sense of belonging and dignity. Giulia, please, next slide. So Lesbos, for those of you who don't know, it's a Greek island in the North Aegean, and Lesbos, as well as Greece, have a long history shaped by population movements, from the arrival of Asia Minor refugees in the 1920s to the displacement linked to the Syrian war in 2015. As we know and as we are familiar with across Europe, social fragmentation, declining trust in institutions, and limited civic participation are growing challenges, especially and particularly for marginalized communities such as the migrant community. According to the Hellenic Integration Index from 2023, indeed, over 65% of migrants feel excluded from civic decision-making. So MOTG's role in the COTAF is to elevate migrant voices and lived experiences, ensuring that perspectives shaped by exclusion and discrimination are meaningfully and safely included in public dialogue and policy reflection. We hope that this will contribute to a more inclusive European identity grounded in participation, intercultural dialogue, and fundamental rights. Next one, Julia, please. So, Movement on the Ground is responsible for delivering 4 working packages, including the development and delivery of training of trainers on migrant inclusion. My colleague Angelina later will deep dive more into this. And we are responsible for delivering 3 human libraries, 2 in Lesbos and 1 in Athens, focusing on gender equality, migrant inclusion, European values, and active citizenship. Next slide. Yes, on behalf of Movement on the Ground, we would like to extend our greetings and sincere thanks to all actors present today. For your interest in participating and for believing in human libraries as a meaningful tools for dialogue and mutual understanding. Thank you very much.
It's the turn of Impact Hub Donostia.
Yep. Hi, everybody. Here, Hosian, representing the team of Donostia. Yeah, we are a non-for-profit cooperative, founded in 2011, but officially or legal constituted in 2013. And yes, we are part of Istria and the other impact hubs of this big network that is present all around the world. And yes, and our mission is especially focused in 3 dimensions. One focused in social entrepreneurship, the other one in sustainability and regeneration, and the third one focused in cultural and organization transformation. No, and every of the projects and the programs that we do, it are involve people and participation. No. Some of the key projects or programs that we have done many projects in these past 10 years, but yeah, we would like to, connecting with the topic of these human libraries, we would like to show these ones or to reference this Eres Gipuzkoa that we are currently developing, connecting diversity and entrepreneurship. Also the Break Donostia with female entrepreneurship and the local community that we also have with Hub Emprendedoras. And other project connecting participation and rural strategies. The one that connects, or we connected the youth theory applied in local rural strategies. The people that is going to be part in the front end of these human libraries are going to be Nerea, Aida, and myself, and also in the backstage Xavi and Isabel that also are they connected today. You can go forward. Our role is going to be to host the third Train of Trainers session. Focused in European values and active citizenship. And also we will host 2 human libraries in a local level, focused in migrant inclusion and also the European values and active citizenship. And also would like to say thank you to, as Movement of the Ground has done, to all the stakeholders that are connected today, because for us it's important not to feel this support and to know that there are stakeholders here interested in this important topic. And also thank you to everybody.
It's the turn, thank you, Jose. It's the turn of Impact Hub Liepāja. Thank you.
Yes, hello, colleagues. I hope you can hear well. My name is Salvis. I'm representing Impact Hub Liepāja. You heard already some stories about Impact Hubs, and we also are part of the global Impact Hub network based in Northern Europe. And the mission is actually very similar as other Impact Hubs have. So to promote sustainable development of Latvian society, to help people to find the right way to live, to work, to develop themselves. And what is maybe important, so we are only the one Impact Hub in Baltic countries, so Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia. We are the only one, and there are only few Impact Hubs in Northern Europe. So we are proud to be part of the network. And talking about our mission and activity lines, so there are two basic lines. So the one is we are working with young people, with young generation, promoting and implementing leadership programs, freelancers programs to support to start own business, etc. So everything about young people and get them on the right line in the life. And another important line is NGO growth incubator, as we named it. So non-governmental organizations, and to help them to assist the leaders of NGOs to be bigger, to be braver, and etc. to go for bigger targets and bigger aims because they can help society afterwards. So going to the next slide, as I mentioned already, so Northern Europe in the project here, mainly partners are from South Europe. So we are glad to cover the northern part of the continent. And on the map, I pushed where Latvia is, and the city Liepāja is the third biggest city in the country. So the capital is Riga, as you know, maybe. So Liepāja is on the western part at the Baltic Sea coast. And then talking about partners, so we are working as an Impact Hub, and previously another name, but the same story, same topic, almost 10 years already. And during these 10 years, we collected a lot of partners, of course, and putting these partners in such kind of baskets or groups or clusters. The one important part is that we are working with a lot of NGO support organizations in the city and in the region. We are part of Impact Hub Global Network, as I mentioned already. And we are working very closely with different EU fund secretariats in Northern Europe. So, you know, there are a lot of programs all over Europe, but there are specific programs in northern part. And of course, the city Liepāja municipality is a very important partner for us. So, and the role in the project, what you heard about a lot. So we are also going to implement a human library event. And another very important part is that we will try to get the project activities visible as possible on social networks and etc. So proud to be in the project, manage great things together. Thank you, guys. Yeah, team, me and my colleague. Sorry, what is maybe important? Yeah. Thank you.
Hi guys, thank you for sharing the informations about you, and I will add just a few informations about us from Czech Republic. We are based in Mladá Boleslav, founded by Škoda Auto Foundation, Impact Hub Czechia, and the city of Mladá Boleslav. So we are trying to connect all of those subjects into one common strength and support the people living in the area of this industrial region. So this is the main aim, actually, what we have, to bring people together from different worlds, connect non-profit, public administration, science and research, and as well businesses, to support actually the changes in the society, to make it more sustainable and more open for our kids for the future, let's say. We are like two, Antonin and Ondřej, both here, and but we are not alone. You can see it on the next slide as it was before. We are cooperating strongly with partners. We have different kind of partnerships, like mainly from innovation centers and as well from some venture capital funds, as well as some state industrial supporters. We cooperate as well with NGOs. Some of them are as well present here. So welcome people, Dex. I'm loving that you join us. And actually why we were found is you can see it on the first picture where you see the quite nice city center of the Mladá Boleslav. And next to this city center is the Skoda Auto industry. So it's one city. It's like 30,000 employees during the day. So we are facing a little bit, a lot of problems due to this situation. So we decided to establish the Hub Mladá Boleslav. You saw the pictures how it looks downstairs. So we have preparing the space for Impact Hub Mladá Boleslav, and we have beautiful garden to do the things there. So you will be welcome to come September 2026. And on the next slide, you can actually see that we have a quite strong experience with human library, and it's kind of our soul and our heart as we started in 2009 with those activities. And we are using it not only to break the stereotypes and to change the attitudes, but as well to support the active citizenship and to support the entrepreneurship of young people or the adults. And we have quite strong experience as well, because we are like every year making a few of them to change the attitude in the society. And I see it as a main tool how it's possible actually. So I'm quite happy to be here, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Now
Yeah. I am Victoria Shuregi from Impact
it's the
Budapest.
time of
This is
Impact
the-
Hub Budapest.
Yeah, and the next slide, this is our first slide. Thank you, Julia. So I'm Victoria Shuregi from Impact Budapest. I'm the head of programs here. So we are the last Impact Hub as partners to introduce ourselves. So we are doing, basically similar programs that we are serving a community, and we try to support a positive social change with programs and providing space and providing membership. So we are gonna be 10 years in next year. And the main target group of our programs are the young people and women and the third country nationals. Next slide, please. Yes, and this is our beautiful space. We are in downtown Budapest, and it's a very, it's an interesting fact that this building used to be the building of the Association of the Shoemakers. It's all more than 100 years old. It's in the 7th district. Actually, it's in the party area. Next slide, please. So our business model that we are having a co-working space. In this year, we already had 50 members, and we are working with hosts, and we are organizing events. We had more than 300 events throughout the years, from small ones to a huge one with a lot of participants involved. We had over 1,000 visitors. And we're also running programs. So we are running entrepreneur programs. We had 5 programs throughout the years. We are, as I said, we are targeting women, young people, and mainly third country nationals. So we have a team of 10 people. Yeah, and we are Bedővel, who is the co-founder of Impact Budapest, and myself. We are involved mainly in the program of COTAF. And our role in the program is that we are going to organize 3 human libraries according to the main topics that Julia is gonna explain us later. Thank you.
So thank you, all the partners. Thank you very much. And for all the participants, you will be happy to hear that we are perfectly on track on our meeting. So we won't take further, and we won't be longer the time that we expected for this meeting. I would like to take a few seconds to thank all the municipalities and public administrations formally providing support at proposal submission, so quite 1 year ago, let's say, and who enabled the project to be evaluated and to be greatly evaluated by the European Commission. So UPI Emilia-Romagna, which is the union of the Italian provinces, which is the Italian formal supporter. The municipalities of Liepaja and Zuglo, Donostia, San Sebastian, and Koper. Greece has informal support from municipalities involved in the project. That is the reason why there is no logo. But the municipalities and the government is, let's say, informally and supporting the project, allowing the events to be organized, and as far as the project will continue, the support will become formal, hopefully. Allow me to give an insight on the logistics of the project, so the backstage of this project, which is a 24-month project, and it's a lump sum project, but every month is a work package, meaning that every month, every work package is an event. So Yunus Foundation Italy is taking care of the overall management, delivering common guidelines for project management, communication, and reporting. All the partners, coordinator and main beneficiaries will be present and regular quarterly meetings, but the first 5 work packages we agreed to meet monthly in order to set the most efficient roadmap and conditions for the implementations of the project. Every work package, as I mentioned, so there are 25 work packages, and every work package has a responsible work package leader. This has been conceived at the very beginning of the concept creation of this project to deliver responsibilities and to share common knowledge and strategies among all partners. Benedetta already mentioned that we will deliver and publish all main public deliverables and outputs in this shared platform, so that also this is for what concerns the main results of the project, so that all the participants involved and stakeholders involved are interested with the project results. But it is important to say that we have a shared platform, internal platform, which is very smooth and let's say light, but it's perfectly aligned, allowing everybody to take its responsibilities and deliver the tasks and the deliverables in time with the European Commission's requirements. The monitoring and the evaluation framework for this project is based and directly informs the theory of change dimension that we have created for this project. It is directly connected to objectives, activities, and expected results. Towards the European Commission, we have a continuous reporting, a monthly continuous reporting activities to be delivered in the participant portal. quantifying indicators, meaning measuring outputs, numbers, and type of number of participants and type of events. The European Commission asks in the participant portal to mention the quantity of male and female and non-binary participants. We generally agreed to mention the number of participants, but we didn't agree in showing the explicit number of women and men non-binary, because it's a sensitive data, and we don't believe this is an information moving the results of the project and the participations among us. Qualitative indicators instead are important indicators, they measure outputs. So it is important for us, and we have set our management and evaluation strategy in order to measure changes in perception and level of engagements. These results will inform the community and the political dialogue that we will enhance in policy dialogues 1 and 2 at the end of the project. The collection of data and tools is standardized, so there will be report templates, and we will develop pre and post dynamic and smart questionnaires for the participants involved in the direct human libraries events, as well as differently tailored, but as well as smart for the train-the-trainer sessions. Theory of change, of course, is totally embedded in the project descriptions and activities and tasks. The quality of our monitoring and evaluation plan is supported and empowered by a strong, even though light but strong, risk management strategy, which is updated throughout all the 24 months of the project. And this allows us to justify in front of the Commission if there are critical situations not enabling us to deliver the project tasks on time, and to apply strong measures to recreate the most suitable situation for the project implementation and the tasks implementation. As I already mentioned, data are aggregated, are collected in a disaggregated way, but we are interested more in age and background, as you will notice later in the final, one of the final slides, but we have a question box for you. We are not really interested in gender for participants, but we will collect, let's say, we will collect it only at a superficial level, so based on name and surname. A few words, again, a very short insight on the training. We already mentioned that the purpose is that of providing capacity building and allow project facilitators and stakeholders to focus on human libraries methodologies. We want to stress here the strategic link of the trainings to the human libraries, even though I very quickly and briefly mentioned it before. It is very important for us to equip trainers with skills and knowledge in order to successfully implement the human library, because main interlocutors of these events are people. And when we are dealing with people, we really need to take into consideration to develop skills of active listening and deep listening, and at the same time being able to develop these skills among citizens and in order to create a change. So here are the save the dates announcements for these trainings. The 5th of February is the first Train the Trainer session. We will show the main content and framework of the human library approach. We will go actually deep into this framework. Partners will show how to develop and to work in it in practice, and how we will show which are the roles, the formats, and the engagement strategy that we have chosen to develop for these particular events. Then we have pretty near the end of half of the same month, 16th of February, the second sessions. This is a practical session showing how to facilitate groups. So the first session will be that of showing how to engage into the human library, which methods, methodologies to use. And the second session will be how to facilitate groups and how to support a respectful dialogue and create welcoming spaces, focusing on diversity and inclusion. Tools will be shared in order to allow participants to imagine to create these events, human library events, in their own countries, besides those one involved in the project. The third training session will be held the 18th of March. These three training sessions are all held online, and they are all held morning hours. This last SMART workshop focus on documenting the results, collecting feedbacks, and turning experience into good practices. So here we will develop the final Train the Trainer toolkit, which will be accompanied by all the contents of the three training sessions. And the Train the Trainer toolkit will be a public deliverable that will inform and will be useful, hopefully, we hope that, to all of you participants and stakeholders involved in this project. We are actually at the half of our meeting, so I will invite you to use your mobile phones to scan this QR code, because we would like you to answer the questions, these very short questions. Which word or multiple words would you choose to describe the change you wish the human library to create in your city? Allow me to ask you to participate and to take a break while you participate to this very short task. We will show the workload that is going to be created with your suggestions and words, and giving you also the time while you answer, 5 minutes to take a coffee, and keeping active the discussion if while you answer or you contribute with your words, you want to start ask some questions. We will register them, and then at the end of the meeting we will start answering your questions. So thank you for participating in this small task.
If the QR code is not working, I copy and pasted the link to access it if you are at the laptop easily in the chat.
Should you prefer to share any question or to make any question, you can, like in the chat, please feel free. We will collect them all, and if you want to share some ideas in the meanwhile, these 2 minutes left, please feel free to do it.
Maybe someone is cutting something.
Maybe someone is. Ammetti. I think this workload can keep ongoing if you want to add words or suggestions up to the end of the meeting. I will reconnect the presentation. Dimmi se si vede la presentazione. So thank you very much for keep working on that workload, and thank you very much for keeping high your attention and your presence in to this final in the final rush of this very important meeting for us. We are registering more than 100 participants, so it's a huge success. Thank you all the partners for this important cooperation and collaboration for this very first work package of the project. We would like to go into the conclusive phase and the second half phase of the presentation and the meeting by allowing each of us, partner of this project, to develop some thematic deep dives, let's say. This is an opportunity for all the partners to expand the important themes, the important key themes of the COTAF project. These themes have been agreed in order to give you more knowledge on what we are going to develop, and to give you also the opportunity to reinforce eventually, or to start considering in a more consistent way your active support to the project. So the different themes that we are going to develop would be those of the human libraries concept and methodologies, an overlook to migration and inclusion themes and issue, European values and active citizenship for a more stronger democratic participation, gender equality and socioeconomic empowerment, international and transnational political dialogue for developing inclusive programs, and incubating inclusive entrepreneurship and community innovation, and then social sustainability as a long-term educational tool for community transformation. So Impact Hub Istria will start this deep dive. Please.
Thank you very much for the word, Julia. I will have a short presentation on the human library methodology. So it's for you to better understand about a little bit more about human libraries, since they are a very important and integral part of this whole project. So the concept, just to give you kind of an overview, is as we've heard before, it's when different people get together, and then people can share, and you as a person become a living book, and you can share your own stories. And this is a better way to, it's a kind of a moderated way to get more dialogue and get stories across. So it's about personal stories instead of generic debates. We know that in different programs and projects we talk about abstract and generic topics, but in this case it's very specific because it comes from a person and it's a literal story of someone. So it's also very important because it's safe and it's moderated, so people can feel in a safe environment sharing these stories that many times it's really hard to get out because of maybe trauma that is connected to them. And here it's not the focus for everyone to speak, but it's also very important for people to listen. So the focus is on listening and not convincing and debating other people and saying, my story is harder than yours, or I believe this and my views are this and that, but it's more of telling the story and listening to the story and then maybe taking something from it. Okay. So why it works first, and then I'll tell you a little bit more on how it works and everything else. So why it works, because it breaks stereotypes through direct contact. So that means that you can learn something about, you know, a different culture, a different experience, background, with direct, you know, face-to-face communication with another person. It builds more empathy because you better understand why a person was in a specific situation and what that means in the current context, and what can we as a society do to make a situation in a certain environment better. It makes very complex issues very relatable because you now know someone who's been maybe in a certain situation, and it creates trust, you know, in diverse groups, because usually people always have a certain view on a specific topic, but getting to know a person that went through a certain situation or has experience with something else, it kind of makes you maybe understand the other side or a different side a little bit better, so you can also then maybe change your mind or just better understand a certain situation. Next one. So how it works now. So the important part when we talk about human libraries is that we can have facilitators. So it's usually a person that kind of tells what are the rules, and what to expect when it comes to a certain, human library session or activity. We always talking about smaller groups, so it's not like a huge open debate with 100+ people. It's very voluntary, so if anyone kind of feel safe, they can share their views and their story. If in a certain point you don't feel kind of to do that, you can stop doing it. It's very kind of based on this safe space and obviously mutual respect when it comes to this. An important part is also confidentiality. So it's not like you're going and share, someone tells you a very specific and personal story and you go share it, online with 1,000 people. It's very person to person, and it's also meant to stay like that in smaller groups. Next one. So we obviously, as we heard before in the presentation of the project, it's not, the point of specifically now we're talking about human libraries. It's not only just to open dialogue and just to keep it there, so people just hear a story and that's it. But we want to have some impact on our local communities. So it's really important that we don't stop only on listening, as we said before. It's not much speaking, but it's more listening, but also a reflection that comes, on an individual level, but maybe also on a collective level. So what can we do as a society, as a local community? What can we do to, help maybe integrate someone better? To make a certain situation more to raise awareness on certain situations and so on and so forth. So then based on that, we can also connect with decision makers, and in our case municipalities, to maybe get across some policies or community action and get maybe more people involved to make certain things better in the local community, and not only focus on a local but also transnational. So next one. So, and what is the added value? So it gives voice to the marginalized and maybe to those who are usually not heard. It strengthens local cohesion. So because you're kind of more aware of what's around of you, you maybe understand a little bit better different points of views and different backgrounds, and also builds a shared sense of belonging. Being part of a specific community that wants to obviously be together, be more cohesive. But to achieve that, you obviously need to share and to listen and get maybe a deeper understanding on the different views, backgrounds, and situations. This was a very short presentation on human libraries. Hopefully you maybe learned something new. And yeah, thank you for listening.
The turn of movement on the ground.
Yes, hello from my side as well. Thank you very much, Julia. Thank you, Benedetta, and thank you to all participants. We are learning many new things today, that is for sure. To dive in a little bit more on migration and inclusion, as my colleague Maria said before, we work with migrants, with refugees, with asylum seekers from all over the world. So primarily, when talking about inclusivity, we must establish who is a refugee, who are the people we're talking about. Refugees are people who have been violently uprooted from their homes or even from their home countries, and the majority of them have undergone perilous trips, some across borders, and have encountered multiple traumatic events, from loss of a loved one to imprisonment to torture. However, in our numerous years in the field, working side by side with the refugees and witnessing their strength, we see people who hope, who dream, and who strive for a better future regardless of their difficult lived experiences. So when we talk about refugees or forcibly displaced people, we're talking right now about more than 120 million people all around the world with this shared experience. Therefore, it is extremely important for us to be able to have a glimpse of it in the form of a human libraries in this project, as such input can reveal systemic failures and can allow us to provide crucial insights that can inform policymaking, multicultural discussion, and advocacy points that are very important for all of the participants gathered here today. However, the process of gathering such information, for example, in the form of human libraries, we must remain very sensitive to the lived experience of such people and use trauma-sensitive methods that do not guide or shape their stories. When we facilitate a human library event, we should not have in mind our expected results, but allow and empower people to lead the conversation and let their voices be heard in their own terms. This helps us also to not risk re-traumatization in the form of probing to get more information of part of the stories that they may not want to discuss. Thank you for changing the slides. So how do we gather fragments of one's lived experience? We must always remember that memory loss happens due to traumatic events. So we use a constructivist approach. This means that we start from the principle that we do not know anything about anyone's life, even if through our years of experience, we have heard hundreds of other stories of people with similar experiences. So we build from bottom up, from zero to wherever the person would like to lead us. Refugees are the storytellers. So whoever we are, in general, when we talk about human libraries, whoever it is that becomes the human library is the storyteller, becomes the center. Some will want to talk about their traumatic journeys, some will want to talk about their homes, some may want to talk about a very specific live event or their hope for the future. All of that input is valid, powerful, and equally useful when thinking about living libraries. So how do we put people in the center of the process? We will, of course, dive a lot more into it in the TOT, in the training of trainers session, but some examples are open-ended questions, allowing people to choose their own themes, so they're not guided by our expectations. We use photo voice, which is a method where we invite people to take a picture, giving them a very general thematic, such as take a picture of something that feels safe to you, take a picture of someone that makes you feel happy, a place that reminds you of home, etc. And then allowing them to talk about that picture with very minimal probing. So letting them choose what they want to talk about. Or we invite people to bring an object that is important for them to talk about. Maybe something they came from back home with, maybe the first thing they acquired when they came into a new community, or anything they choose to focus on. During our TOT, we will practice using interactive activities to fully dive in the depth of understanding how to gather lived experiences, such as constructing mental maps of ourselves, and other methods that we will talk about more. Thank you very much on our side.
Thank you very much, Angelina. Thank you very much. And please, Impact Hub Donostia.
Yes, good morning again. Yeah, from our side, we are very happy to contribute to the COTAF to this third train of trainers session also, where we are also going to speak with focused on European values and active citizenship. Our role as a human library manager or hosts is not only to deliver content, but also to support trainers, facilitators, local actors, and everyone taking part in these events, like connecting experiences, gather these conversations, and this practice at local level, no? Why is important, no, or why these European values and active citizenship is important? Because it is not an abstract concept, because it happens through everyday interactions, local conversations, in community spaces, and in our diverse societies and polarized society. We see like there are four key reasons or key challenges. No, the first one is like to protect this human dignity and fundamental rights in context of diversity. The second one is to strengthening trust and social cohesion at local level. No. The third one, preventing exclusion, polarization, and democratic disengagement. And the fourth one, empowering people to participate actively in their communities. Because and we as facilitators of this or host of these human libraries, we play a crucial role creating these safe spaces and dialogue, where dialogue can happen or doesn't happen, no? So we are a key role there, no? When we mean European values, we focus on a set of very concrete values. We are talking about human dignity and equality. We are talking about diversity and non-discrimination. And we are talking about freedom, solidarity, and mutual responsibility. And through this workshop, with this train, we will go further within these values. We will share experiences. We will share case studies and do this peer-to-peer learning from different experiences in different regions. And also this is an important thing, that we are not going to approach to these values as legal definitions or institution narratives, but also it's important like to connect experiences from something valuable and that connects from our hearts, no? And also how can go from values to active citizenship? It's when we say active citizenship, it's we are saying that people, when people have a voice and feels that their voice matters, this is that the thing that we are seeking for, no? And dialogue, bridge between European values and democratic participation. When we are talking about dialogue, we are having a voice that is being heard. There is dialogue, trust, and participation, and there is civic or possible. This makes possible that the civic engagement at a local level can happen, no? Because the dialogue and active citizenship is not only about a political formal way to participate, but also it's to take responsibility, no? And all of this, how can we apply all of this in a human library? Because we are going to practice it. So and this is the thing that we are going to do.
Thank you, Joshan. Thank you very much.
So as UNIS Foundation, we will do human libraries, also another topic, but we decided to dive into the topic today to present you our research, but also our idea of bridging through our events. So we are going to focus on gender inclusion and socioeconomic empowerment, basically building on the intersectional approach. So we are gonna start obviously because I'm sorry. And there are people writing in the chat and I lose attention a bit. So we are gonna target all beneficiaries already experiencing a lot of inequalities in terms of participating, but also socioeconomic disadvantages. So by using the human library, we want to reflect altogether on how to remove barriers to participation. That's the reason why we will focus mainly on women, but also on intersectional category, as, for example, the colleagues of Movement on the Ground mentioned before, of, for example, migrant women. So the paradox in gender equality nowadays, because we compared a bit among all countries of partners, is that women usually tend to be underrepresented in terms of political participation in parliaments, as members of political parties, or in the public debate. So we had a rise in the past years. So we moved in 10 years from the 27.8% up to the 33.4%. But for example, in Italy, just to give you a glimpse, only 21.3% of women are in decisional-making body, irrespectively of the level. In terms also of education, there is a paradox because on average, women are very competitive, but also they score better academic and educational results than men, but specifically in certain kinds of degrees and fields. And for example, they are very underrepresented in so-called STEM courses, accounting only 17.9% of presence, compared to the obviously higher percentage of men, that is the 42.4%. Security, but also gender-based violence, unfortunately, are nowadays a constant part of our life and news. And around 1 in 3 women in Europe are afraid to walk alone or to leave the night. Because they have experienced in the past the physical, verbal, or sexual violence, especially in adulthood, with higher rates among women with disabilities. In Italy, for example, only 52.1% of women feel safe walking alone, compared to the correspective men, that is the 75%. Regarding the time, the socioeconomic empowerment that obviously is linked to an active participation in society. Women, unfortunately, because it has been so in ages, that's the reason why we want to change it through our project in human libraries, had an employment gap. So employment rate for males in the EU has always been constant, as in all over the world, reaching and scoring almost 81%, exceeding the female rate that is usually staying 10% below. So in this case, 70%. The gender pay gap that is obviously connected and deriving from the employment gap is affecting women in terms of leverage and purchasing power, because it's usually the salary of what women earn is less than 12% less hourly than men, and the famous and so-called glass ceiling. Care work has always been a burden and a liability for women, because usually women tend to work part-time because most of their time is devoted to the caregiving activities, like taking care of children, of the house, cooking, or parents more in general. And that is a very limiting factor to actually invest more hours in working. Again, a recent and very interesting data is about digital segregation, because irrespectively the digital transition and more and gradually more diffuse digital literacy, the women focusing on ICT or specializing in this field are very lower than men, with a ratio of 4.15, limiting obviously the empowerment in a future-oriented sector like nowadays is with artificial intelligence or a lot of computing and use of technology in our daily lives. Obviously, the reason why we mention all of these gaps and obstacles is because they affect civic participation of women in the European Union. And this is something we're going to focus on. So we focus a bit in the geography of the gap. So there is no single European shared trend, but there are, let's say, differences in between North and South. So we've seen that Greece and Hungary, civic participation is predominantly male. In Greece, actually, most of the male, 48%, are engaged in public debates, participation, rather than the 36% of women. Same in Hungary, we see this divide, 25% of men taking an action in society, while 18% of women. Southern European countries, however, have some outliers data, like Spain, where 57% of women are engaged in public debating and public society, with 40% of men. Italy is kind of similar, scoring lower than Spain, though, 52% versus 48% of male. Obviously, the geography of the gap reflects also the as we said, the time gap in terms of, that is one of the points of the list, time that is drained by caregiving. It's interesting also that we have seen different female or male dominance model. In the case of female solidarity model that is mainly diffuse in Southern Europe and in the Baltics, we have seen that usually women are more involved in giving help or support. They tended to do care work, not only in the families, but also in the third sector, for example, where they are overrepresented usually than men. In Italy, 19% of women tend to donate to NGOs compared to men. There is a 16, 17. Hello?
Evo, lej, si videla, jaz sem kar poslal pogodbo nazaj, da ne
I'm
postopamo.
sorry, I need to mute some
Okay.
people.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Da je 60% zdaj, 40 pa pol. Ampak znotraj leta to ne vpliva. Veš, ona rekla, da mora...
Sorry. Okay, that was an interception. So I was saying that usually women tend to donate in NGOs and in terms of money and time more. And for example, in Latvia, we have seen that the gap is even wider. 22% of women donate to support NGO or charity work, rather than the 19% of men. In Slovenia, the data instead is outstanding, 40% of women versus 30% of men. Obviously, as we mentioned before, Greece and Hungary are showing kind of the opposite pattern. Why I'm mentioning all of this data? Because it's crucial to support women. This is something we will stress on by discussing it all together, is that we need to find solutions that we might create all together to promote the participation. So working on the women's disproportionate care burden, perhaps by working on economic earnings and helping them to find other solutions to find more available time for active and civic political participation. We must take care more and pay even more attention when it comes to multiple vulnerabilities. So intersectional categories like, for example, migrant women that have lower income, that usually tend to not find easily a job, and that perhaps culturally, but also forced by the system, they have to take care of the family even more. We must work on education. Despite actually the high level of education, we must support women, especially to start working, as we said, in fields that are at the time not pretty much populated by women. We must also not only work in time, but also in time means giving more time to women, but also to create spaces that are going to be inclusive and encouraging women as well to be a part of the dialogue. So ideally, by having our human library here, gender equality, socioeconomic empowerment in Emilia-Romagna, we would like to build, for example, on the positive models that we have in the region that are actually trying to include and pay more emphasis on the issues of women or single mothers, and try to create, perhaps by listening to their stories and obstacles, new possibilities that we would like then to present to our stakeholders. So we would try by capitalizing on our expertise, but also asking the help of our partners. So together we will try to envision new possible civic spaces where we can work all together on this. I will leave the floor to Impact Hub Paya for the last dive. Thank you.
Thank you, Benedetta. Great to hear all your numbers you mentioned, and also you mentioned Latvia, not in the positive light, but yeah, we have things to improve. Just to continue about the active citizenship and citizen involvement, but maybe from other side, from policy makers side. Yeah, it's a hot topic and very important topic, and it becomes even more and more actual, because you see what is happening in neighborhood countries of Latvia, so to the east. So what can policy makes with society, and this is very important, which direction all the world will go. So inclusive policy making is a topic what we also will catch and go in depth in the project here. As I mentioned, huge problem, and the question always is how to involve people, or how to involve citizens in policy making, and how to get policy makers listen and to include these opinions what citizens have. So I think both parts need to take a step to each other's side to have a win-win moment. And I think not only one part is, like, if we may say, guilty that the situation in several countries is so as it is. Because nowadays a lot of politicians want to be like I don't know how to say, like kings, and we know the best way, we know how to do it, we know how to manage it, and this is a problem. Most probably they are afraid of different opinions, and what will come with this initiative and then with that initiative. So a huge problem, and this is what we underline very clearly also in this project, to bring this equality and this inclusive policy and inclusive daily life as a prior initiative in all cities and in all countries. If you can go to the next slide, then oh, there is only one slide, or let's make a step back. No, only one slide. Yeah, okay. Then yeah, as I mentioned, it's a huge problem. This diversity. This is what comes nowadays in all cities' agendas, and with the help of COTAF, of this project, we hope and we are sure that we will get the capacity to engage meaningful and diverse communications and these co-creation initiatives. But to get it done, these human library stories are very, very important, to hear the best practices in different cities, in different countries, and to see that it works and there is nothing to be afraid of. So and here we are giving a big hope to this project as well, to make society much better as we have today and what we can expect. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Salvis. Now, please, the girls from Budapest.
Maybe you just skip the hub from Mladá Boleslav, those 2 slides you were showing during the service presentation. So if you can go 2 slides back, please.
Sorry, you're right.
It's
I'm
okay.
really sorry. Super sorry.
I will just add some expertise from our side, as we are quite proud of it as well. And I think that it's quite important to touch the topics of, okay, we need active citizenship, we need the policy-making process, we need to support people with the borders and some lower possibilities and fewer opportunities to support them. But there is a question always how to do it. And one of the tools which is supported by European Commission as well and the European Union is to support the entrepreneurship and intrapreneurship. And usually there is a lot of things and a lot of tools, a lot of institutions trying to support one segment, second segment, third segment, whatever. But there is not so much which are trying to somehow combine. And I think that it's one of the main benefits of this project, that it's combining the support of those people from different sides and different perspectives and using the quadruple helix model of innovation. So that's what we are trying to do as well, to support actually people delete the boundaries and delete the gap for them to enter actually the support system of innovation and starting the businesses, starting their own projects, or be active citizens in the places where they are actually living. So that's what we are trying to create by our programs and what we are trying to support as well. There are many problems like the social barriers and as well the gap like in between people from let's say families and we are calling it like a social migration issue from one group to second group, and that's what we are trying to actually address by connecting 4 different segments in one, and to create a system of really good soft landing for the people who are willing to do actually things. So for that we have different kind of activities, tools, instruments, how we can involve them into the process of supporting entrepreneurship activities to be, for example, incubated. And it doesn't matter if you are NGO, if you are just one active citizens, or if you are just the group of people willing to start a startup company. The most important is that we have some common principles, common as well impact focus, let's say, on the activities. So what we are trying to do is to open the doors for everybody who is willing to do the things with the positive impact on the society and on the place where they are living. And how we will do it is as well the question of the partnership and how we will be willing to implement those activities into our daily lives. It will be up to all of us, and we will do the best to share and to add and to bring and to learn and to give. So I'm looking really forward to enjoy this work.
Thank you very much, Antonin, for your intervention. Thank you very much. And I hope I'm not messing with the slides again.
No.
So it should be Budapest, right?
Yeah, yes. So at first I would like to talk about the long-term educational impact of our project. So it's educational impact because it has a transforming learning through that we have live experience, and we also have a dialogue. So one of the main part of this long-term educational impact is the human libraries themselves, because they are an experiential learning, based on an experiential learning methodology. And they invite individuals to share their personal stories, as we have mentioned before. And this practice encourages empathy and reduces stereotypes and fosters deep listening. And this form of learning aligns with broader educational sustainability goals that emphasize skills, values, and support inclusive societies. And the trainer program also has a long-term educational impact that's going to stay with the participants long after the project ends. And also the narrative-driven civic awareness is very important, that can turn these personal narratives into policy dialogues, and the participants learn not only the shared experiences, but also how to connect their realities with democratic processes, and how to engage their critical engagement over time. The next slide, please. It's about the community transformation. What are the elements of the community transformation in our project? Is fostering inclusivity and belonging by spotlighting these voices, which are often unheard. So we have nurtured these inclusive civic spaces where diverse community members can feel recognized. It's also important that we have these dialogues and democratic participations. So these the dialogues and the policymakers, these dialogues have the citizens and policymakers that the communities translate experiences into actionable insights. And we also try to support the resilience of the communities and through our human libraries and all the actions that we provide for the long-lasting social sustainability. And that's it.
Thank you very much, Victoria. Thank you very much. Thank you all for resisting. We are on our last 3 slides, so please stay, don't leave. We have actually, like, we are at the end of the meeting, so we would like to show the media channels of our project. We would like to invite all of you to follow our socials to stay up to date and tuned with our events and the updates, not to lose any of them. So we have Instagram, and we have YouTube, and we have LinkedIn. Some of the slides, like with the most important information, like save the dates and also the media channels, will be posted and published on the website of the project, which is that one that you see here in this slide. So please, maybe we can add the website on the chat of this meeting. We will be more than happy to have you among the participants and the followers of our website as well. For like concluding, let's say, thanking again each and all of one of you. We would like to share the link for this question box Google form, where we would like to keep and register the feedbacks about the meeting, but the content of the meeting, registering therefore your perspectives and getting, let's say, more in details with what you think we might do in order to implement the best way possible this project. So in synthesis, please connect to the link that Benedetta put on the chat. You will find a Google form where you can answer basically like very easy questions on how do today's themes have contributed to inclusive narrative and sharing narratives, as well as what common visions you suggest us we should give and we should use to guide the project, to guide COTAF over the next 2 years, and how each stakeholder can actively contribute and collaborate going forward. I would like to stop the sharing of my screen, so to finally because the presentation has ended, because finally having the chance to see the big screen of all the participants that have endured and have lasted these 2 hours meeting. We will take only 15 minutes more just to collect your questions and to allow you to fill the question box. Thank you very much for all of those who are leaving. We would really like, before you leave, to fill the question box. Because it's very useful for us, like collecting your feedbacks and start actively working in the most efficient way for this project implementation. And yes, mics also are open for you to, if any one of you wants to share any thought. I would like all the partners, I would like to invite all the partners to put the camera on so that we can also take a nice screenshot of a collective pictures of us being online in this important first event meeting all together, publicly, let's say. We will register the information that you share in the question box in the most anonymous form, of course. And yes, so please, let's start talk everybody about it.
I have a question, actually.
Yes, please.
Hello, thank you everyone for the presentations and for putting together this very inspiring project. I'm representing Zugló municipality from Budapest, and I have a question about our role in the operative management of the project. So you mentioned these dates, but it is not clear for me whether the municipalities should also delegate facilitators to that. If yes, how many, and what? So what is our role basically, and is there a place where it is written down?
Municipalities providing letters of support. Olga, thank you very much for your question. Are actively involved in collaborating with a national partner to guarantee whether they, like, in the most suitable way it interests you, and in the most suitable way you would like to be involved as a public administration in the implementation of the public events, in the yes, the human libraries events, and as well as the policy dialogue. So this is something you can discuss with your main interlocutor among us, partners of this project, and the consortium of the project. Like we will manage to organize a common session when we, in order to facilitate the role of public administrations in supporting the project implementation. So actually, it is an active role guaranteeing collaboration with your territory, eventually providing spaces, co-designing expected results for your municipalities, and of course, under your request, we can eventually imagine a space where periodically we include the municipalities and the major stakeholders, like providing letters of support, participating in the steering committee's meeting, so like sharing the consortium feedbacks, the overall consortium feedbacks about that eventual cluster of actions and tasks implementation. Was that a good answer?
well, what I understand from this is that we should negotiate the specifics of that with the Budapest Impact Hub, and that there are not really clear guidelines by the project.
There are no clear guidelines by the project. That's not. I think like public administrations providing letters of support are active stakeholders, so they will negotiate with their own interlocutor the best realization of the task, because this interests your municipalities. At the same time, we are more than welcome to discuss, as per your explicit request, eventually the like a more eventually your desire to be up to date or to get involved more, but the project doesn't provide, for example, costs or budget to public administrations, like directly supporting the project. So there are no guidelines, meaning that you can negotiate with your partner, and then the consortium is more than welcome to evaluate a way to include in a more practical way all the major stakeholders into the decision-making process.
Thank you.
And of course, if the national partner needs support for negotiating and having feedbacks on how to negotiate the best with the local administrations, we can all set, like all together, we can set the point in order to share the common way to interact with our major stakeholders. But I think this is something that each of us has its own relationship and its own connections, and knows the best how to interact with the local stakeholders. So I think this is the most important thing, also to absorb the maximum content and outputs and results and objectives of the project, and implement them in order to fit and to suit the best in the most tailor-made way with the local municipality. I would like just to have a quick look about the questions, like about the answers getting into our question box form. There are not many answers right now, but please, the question box will stay open up to the following days. We would like to eventually allow to post, we might think to post any reminder in order for you to, for all of you, 83 people left in this meeting, to fill the question box. And keep registering the answers, so in the next upcoming days. Che metta l'ultima slide, che è molto bella, per salutarci.
In the meantime, I would like to again thank you, all of you, and please thank you for joining us, but stay tuned to our socials. It's very important that we engage among each other, but more generally also that we must keep involving the general public. So please reach your friends, people that are working in the third sector, coordinators, projects, social workers. people that have actually an interest in promoting intercultural dialogue. The payoff of the project is be human, see, listen, speak, and understand, possibly in this order, in the sense that by participating together and living, as we said differently all over the meeting, we will actually internalize perhaps better the issues, the sufferances, and also the point of views of people that usually we don't cross path with. So please stay tuned. We will keep sharing constantly updates through our communication channels, as in the website you will find already, as I put it in the chat, the downloadable PDF with the links for the trainer session. To our social, we will obviously present the project, the partners, so seriously, stay tuned and be a part of this wave, we hope, of change. Our aim is more than shared among us, so we want to create better communities. So our voice and our participation, grassroots, and also involving the municipality will help us to reach our goal. So thank you again for today. If we're not getting in touch, good holidays to each one of you, but I hope to see you in the next Train the Trainers event. So please, let's build together a society beyond fear, stereotype, and prejudice. Each one of us has a voice, so let's speak up, be listened, and empathize all together. Thank you.
So guys, the meeting is over. Thank you very much again, and feel free to leave the meeting. For what concerns our part, this meeting has been a success. So thank you very much, all of you.
It wouldn't be possible without you. So thank you. Let's keep working together. Bye, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Qualcuno vuole entrare?